going to be looking at X and Y intercepts. Okay, so up until this point, if you were given an equation in this format, which is standard format, and you were asked to find the X and Y intercepts, you would have to solve for Y, put it in slope-intercept form, and graph. So let's go ahead and do that with this problem. So to get it in slope-intercept form, we'd have to move that negative 2x across the equal sign. So draw my line down, drag down the positive 3y. When I move over a negative 2x, it then becomes positive 2x. Scooch over the minus 6. So then my last step would be to divide by 3. Okay, 3 over 3 cancels or reduces to 1, so we get y equals, performing our heart method, we get 2/3 x because that doesn't reduce any further. So 2/3 x, and negative 6 over positive 3 is going to give me negative 2. So plotting this using slope and y-intercept, I know I go down 2 on my y-axis, and from there my rate of change is up 2, right 3, up 2, right 3. So from here up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3, and then up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Okay, so my y-intercept, obviously, in slope-intercept form, is 0, negative 2. And just by finding it out through graphing, our x-intercept here is 1, 2, 3, 0. So hopefully you noticed a commonality here is that for my y-intercept, x equals 0, and for my x-intercept, y equals 0. Okay, so there's actually an easier method. Given an equation in standard form like this, we can go ahead to find the x and y intercepts. We can plug in 0 for the opposite coordinate. So let me show you what I mean, for example. So this is the same equation as over here, what we just solved in standard form. It's the same equation. I'm going to show you the new trick. So in order to find the y-intercept easily, I know that x is 0. So if I plug in 0 here for x, that whole term basically goes away because negative 2 times 0 is 0. So that goes away. I get 3y equals negative 6. In order to solve for y, the y-intercept here, divide both sides by 3. So I get y equals negative 2. What do you know? Our y-intercept. Okay, likewise, in order to find our x-intercept, y is 0. So if I were to plug in 0 for y into this equation over here, basically what would happen is that whole piece would go away. Because if I'm plugging in 0 for y, 3 times 0 is just 0. So then I would get negative 2x equals, so negative 2x, because that's gone, equals negative 6. So divide both sides by negative 2. I get x equals positive 3. Hey, looky here. All right, so we've just found an easier method to finding x and y intercepts. So let's go ahead and practice. Okay, so given this example here, to find the x and y intercepts without having to go through the trouble of setting it equal to, or set it in y equals, or slope-intercept form, I can just use the method we just found. So first, to find the y-intercept, plug in 0 for x, so basically cover it up. I get 7y equals 28. Divide both sides by 7. I get y equals 4. So my y-intercept is 1, 2, 3, 4. Likewise, to find the x-intercept, I plug in 0 for y. So I get 14x equals 28. Divide both sides by 14. Okay, so here I get x equals 2. So I count over from the origin 1, 2. So now I've got 2 points on here, so now I can count the slope to get more points. So from this point to this point, I'm falling 1, 2, 3, 4, going right 2. So if I fall 1, 2, 3, 4, and go right 2 more, then I've got 3 points on my line. You could also find the slope. So I just found the slope. We said falling 4, all right, and then we're going right 2. So the slope of this equation if I reduce, is -2. Okay, let's try one more example. So let's look at this one. Example number 2. So to find the y-intercept, plug in 0 for x, so I would get -9y equals 27. So divide both sides by -9. I get y equals -3. So let's go ahead and plot that 1, 2, 3 down. Okay, and then to find the x-intercept, plug in 0 for y. So I would then get 3x equals 27. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 9 is my my x-intercept, excuse me. So count from the origin: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got my 2 points. All right, I can count the slope. Let me count the slope. So I'm going up 1, 2, 3. So up means +3, and right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in actuality, my slope is 3/9, which is 1/3. So hopefully you should see that if I drew my line perfectly, it would be going up 1, right 3, up 1, right 3. Didn't do a very good job of drawing the line, did I? Up 1, right 3. So if I were to straighten that out, you would see that is my line.